This is one of Japan's most chilling urban legends, and in this video, we'll experience it through the story of Miyu, a girl who learns the hard way why some places should stay forbidden. Our story begins quietly. Miyu, a young Japanese girl, sits cross-legged on the tatami floor of her grandmother's home as she flips through her late grandfather's old photos. Black and white images of shrines, items, and the forest. She recalls her grandfather's stern warning never to enter that forest, but he never said why. The next morning, unable to shake her curiosity, Miyu decides she has to see for herself. She packs her things and slips out in the morning, heading toward the tree line before anyone can stop her. The moment she steps under the trees, the air changes. It feels heavier, thicker, like a storm about to break. Birds grow quiet. The crunch of dead leaves under her shoes sounds far too loud. Every step deeper into the woods feels like walking into another world. The colors seem dull, as if the forest is drained of life. It's a sign that Miyu is somewhere she should not be. Hours seem to pass. Then, in a sudden gust of wind, she sees her. A woman, impossibly tall and slender, wearing a flowing white dress and a broad hat that hides her face. For a heartbeat, Miyu thinks it's another hiker, until the figure flickers. A low glitching sound rises in the air. Ho, ho, ho. Like a broken music box echoing in her skull. Miyu's legs lock, her vision darkens, and as the 8-foot-tall woman glides closer, Miyu collapses to the damp earth, unconscious. Ho, ho, ho. When she wakes, she's back in her grandmother's house, lying in bed. Her grandmother sits beside her, relief etched in her face. Miyu tells her everything. The floating woman, the white dress, the strange sound. Her grandmother's expression changes instantly, fear and recognition. Her grandmother leaves and returns with 4 bowls of salt. She places one in each corner of the room, murmuring chants. No matter what you hear, she warns, don't open the door. Don't leave this room. Miyu nods, her anxiety building. Night falls. The lights flicker once, twice, then a knock raps on the door. A voice outside calls softly, sounding like her grandmother, but raspy, distorted. Miyu, open the door. Static clings to every syllable. Out of the corner of her eye, Miyu sees a tall figure flickering near the salt line. The sound returns. Po, po, po. She squeezes her eyes shut. When she opens them again, her real grandmother stands in the doorway. Her grandmother explains the entity is Hachishakusama, Hachi for short, a Japanese spirit or yokai sealed long ago in a Jizo statue at the forest's lake. It takes the form of a tall woman in white, luring its victims with that strange sound. Once it marks a child or young adult, it stalks them until it can abduct their soul. By venturing into the forest, Miyu has drawn its attention. But there's still hope. Her grandmother gives her return to the lake, find the bell, and perform the cleansing ritual her grandfather once used to seal the spirit. The next morning, before the sun is fully risen, Miyu treks back into the forest. The air feels even heavier now. Her heart pounds with every step, her ears throbbing from the stress. She reaches the lakeside platform, but the bell is gone. Panic claws at her insides. Classic horror move, right? The one thing you need to stop the enemy is gone. From the mist, a small blue fox appears, glowing faintly. It glances back at her, then dashes into the deeper woods, carrying a bell in its mouth. Miyu follows, running through the spider lilies whose crimson petals sway like flames. The fox leads her to a moss-covered cave mouth. A wooden torch burns at the entrance, as if waiting for her. She takes it and steps inside. The cave smells of wet stone and old paper charms. Sealed passages block the way with planks and talisman seals. A faint scream echoes from somewhere within. Finally, deep in the cave, she finds the fox sitting beside a stone pedestal. On it rests the missing bell. She reaches for it, and the air turns crushing, as if the spirit itself is aware of what she's doing. Clutching the bell, Miyu bursts from the cave and races toward the lake. Ahead, she sees a man suspended in the air by invisible hands. The Hachi flickers into view, brushing the man's face before he crumples lifeless to the ground. Miyu cannot help him. She can only run. The entity flickers closer and closer, the sound pounding in her skull, her very soul feeling like it's tearing loose. Trees bend toward the figure as she sprints. She can feel the entity getting closer, and the only thing she can do is set up a mental barrier to fight back against it as hard as she can. She eventually stumbles onto the lakeside platform and raises the bell with trembling hands. The water is black and still, reflecting nothing. She begins to shake the bell and ring it and chant the incantation her grandmother taught her. The Hachi materializes at the water's edge. The energy radiating from her is crushing, bending the air, yet Miyu does not stop the ritual. The bell tolls louder, the chant rises above her static. The water turns violently as the ritual takes hold. The Hachi lunges forward, but the binding pulls her back toward the seal. Her shrieks split the air like tearing metal. With one final toll of the bell, her form disappears into black mist and is drawn into the depths, leaving only silence. Color seeps back into the trees. Birds start to sing again. The oppressive weight of the air lifts. Miyu collapses on the platform, sweat and tears mixing as the bell slips from her fingers. The Hachi has been placed back into a Jizo stone once again. But for how long this time? That's the story of Miyu and the terrifying Hachishakusama. What do you think? Is it just a story, or is there something lurking out there waiting to be awoken again? If you enjoyed this dive into a Japanese horror game, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and until next time, don't turn off the lights.